Hi, Andy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So you have one of the most kind of tragic moments, I think, in recent history on a reality TV show, because it was just a heart pounding, oh no, oh no, oh no, constantly watching as you were coming to terms with kind of everything that was going on.
Mhm.
And so first I wanted to know, how are you now, post Traitors, with everybody watching it and having fun?
I'm good. I think, it's interesting because watching it back is a totally different experience than actually doing it. So, just different. It's definitely hard. It's hard to see my family watch it and certain things like that for them to see me in that, that upset. But other than that, I'm good. I feel like I live a very blessed life and I just feel very lucky to have a newborn now. And yeah, everything's good.
Well, because I was gonna ask, because that was kind of the like heartache of that moment was because you were just so excited. You're gonna have a kid. It was like everyone on the outside was like, "Oh, they don't realize what's going on." And kind of seeing that reaction from fans of this series
Mhm.
and just the audience in general, how has that been? Kind of knowing like we were all sitting there, obviously with the knowledge, but
Yeah.
like why didn't you see what she was like? Everyone kind of has that mentality. How is that for you as someone who lived it?
I think it's just, obviously we're filming like 18-hour days and an episode is an hour long, so
Mhm.
you're only seeing a fraction of what's really happening and the relationships that are built. A lot of people are like, you just met this person. How are you this close? How are you, connected like that? Why are you that emotional? And it's like, you're taken away from all your comfortableness. You're in a foreign country. You're doing new experiences. You're so vulnerable that we all just kind of clung to each other. And it was like, okay, we're all going to go through this together. And Suri was one of those people right from the very minute that I met her that we felt like, okay, like, and this was before Traitors were chosen, right? So
Mhm.
this, we have 2 days before Traitors were chosen to like get to know people. And so we started a bond really, really strong. And she never changed. Like that woman's poker face, her, she was constant, right? Like she was very consistent through the whole thing. So there was never a red flag for me. And then especially like we made a pact with Quentin at the end too, to where it was like, it's going to be us splitting that money. So again, that's like reiterating, that, we had this. So yeah, it was a
Well,
whirlwind.
it is the like I guess yeah, I don't know if I've heard anyone call it this, but it is like the same mentality of like Love Island where you are thrown into a situation where it's like the only people you know are the people you're there with, so your relationships are like on like the fast track because it
Exactly.
is that's you have to kind of just get through it. And so that makes sense. It is like one of those things where I was like, oh no, she just blew her game by like calling out the other train. And to
Mhm.
see all the green, I was like,
No, we
oh
just
no.
we genuinely thought that Sari knew something that we didn't know, but at the same time, we also went into that last round table in the last fire pit situation, knowing that we were going to vote Ari regardless. So like
Mhm.
that also was on track of like everything that we said, like, okay, it was gonna be the three of us. Like that was our strategy for the end. So yeah.
Oh, that's wild to learn. I did like that was the most cutthroat ending ever. Just see her turn on Ari like that. But now
Yeah.
knowing that it was like part of the plan is it was iconic. I was just like, oh, she just wants that money for herself. I respect it. But
Well, we
like,
didn't know she was going to turn on Ari. We
well,
knew that we thought we were all voting collectively just to banish, right? Like we
well,
didn't
yeah.
know. I had no idea what was going to go down in her speech and, Ari leaving because of her speech. Like there was a lot of things and it was just intense. It was so intense.
Is it an experience you enjoyed though? Because it is like you're in a murder mystery for however many days it took to film it.
Yeah. Um, I think that it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, physically and emotionally. But I was also in a part of my life where I was growing as a person. Like I said, I just came out as Andie. I just changed my name to Andie. So going in, nobody knew me as who I was before. So everyone calling me Andie was even new for me. Like I was like, oh, they're using my like actual name, So that was an experience in itself. And, I had a lot of really good people close to me that nurtured my growth in that show. And I think I came out more confident in who I was and just more sure of the fact that I'm on the right track in my life. So
That's amazing. I mean, like that's an amazing experience. Like knowing like that's the first time that people are experiencing like who you truly are is
yeah.
something that like I feel like this show benefits from, like knowing that, just because a lot of people are obsessed with this show for multiple reasons, mainly Alan Cumming and
Yeah.
whatever he's doing. But like it does have those moments. Like it's really cool that you said that, because it's like, yeah, well, that makes this show so special, because it's like, yes, for you, it's the first time people actually got to see Andie and who Andie
Exactly.
is. But going back to Alan Cumming,
Yeah.
what was that nonsense like? Because truly nothing was funnier than him knocking on the Traitors' doors, and every time they're being shocked, and then it's Alan Cumming like looking in some outfit.
You know, he is an actual icon. When we found out it was him, I was like, oh my God, Spy Kids was my I legit thought I was gonna be like a spy when I was a kid. So Spy Kids was my
Same.
thing, you know? And so for him to come out, I was just like, there's no way. And then of course the L word, right? Like
Mhm.
when in the queer community, like I watched that stuff secretly in a different bedroom because my parents didn't know I was gay, you know, like, so for him, like to be in the same space as him and everything, it was really cool. And he's just a genuine person. And his character that he came up with on the show it's iconic. Can't beat it.
Yeah, I watched him do his one man performance of Macbeth
Mm-hmm.
on Broadway, and I was watching this. I was like, yeah, there's a reason I love that absolute nonsense where you don't know, like if you didn't know Macbeth, you wouldn't know it after this show. But
Yeah.
like you would just watch Alan Cumming in a bathtub pretending to be Lady Macbeth. You're like, this is great. I have no notes. This whole show just reminded me of that, because I was like,
Yeah.
he is just like, hello, I'm having the time of my life doing this. And it is you do call you are part of what I have dubbed the normal people of
Mm-hmm.
the Traitors, because it is a few like regular just people who exist in this world with like reality Bravo stars
Yep.
and like The Bachelor and everything like
Yep.
that, Survivor. How is it kind of coming into this show as somebody who is quote unquote the regular
A
people?
normie.
Yeah, a normie versus like you're competing against people who really like they won Big Brother, they won
Yeah.
Survivor because they have all these tactics.
So it's funny because we didn't know. Obviously, we thought we were going to play this show with 20 other, you know, civilians or normies. So we had no idea. And I didn't watch Survivor growing up. I didn't really watch Big Brother, nothing like that. So strategy wise, like I literally thought we were just going to play like this fun clue game in the Scottish castle, you know, and then we get there and it's way different than what I thought that I was getting myself into. So I will say like game wise, I didn't have that type of strategy. There's no way I had that experience before, right? So it's interesting because I knew coming in my gameplay and my strategy was to connect with people, make genuine real life relationships with people, and just try to show people who I am, because like I said, coming in, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert at heart. I'm that through and through. So coming in, I really had to go out of my comfort zone to connect with people because that's just not in my nature. You know, it's not me to be social. So that was a part of my gameplay of like, okay, I need to try to stay under the radar so I'm not a target, because I'm sure you saw, I don't know if you saw the UK version, but if you sip a glass of water wrong, you're a traitor, you know? So it's like, I had to find things that were, you know, you didn't want anything to target you. So I just was like, I need to lead with my genuineness, and I need to lead with having real conversations and being honest with people. And honestly, I think that's why my gameplay got me to the end. And I don't think even if Suri would have been taken out, if Christian would have been one of the last Traitors or whatever, I really do think I would have gotten to the end because I had a great relationship with every single person on that cast. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
that
it
was
is
my strategy.
the show was wild in the sense that how some of the Traitors just like gave themselves away. Like you were like, you were fine. You could have just like not opened your the Christian, especially. I was like, what are you doing? You just told everybody. Like when he did
Yeah.
that, I was like, they approached me, and I said no. I was like, well, now everyone knows you're a traitor, my guy.
But that shows you how deep the game was too. It's because he thought he had to do that. Like that shows you how much confusion there is in there, because he thought that he had to completely come up with this whole little story in order to get people to believe him. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who thinks it's you, dude. Like,
Well, you and Kate, and then Kate just was
Yeah.
always, everyone's like, that's a traitor. She's like, I'm not. This is fun.
I never, not once thought Kate was a traitor, ever. I never voted for her until the last roundtable where we had to get rid of people for the finale. But it's because I knew she wasn't a traitor. I just knew it in my gut.
Which is like, that's an interesting like approach to gameplay for me, is to be like, yeah, fine, everyone thinks I'm a traitor, so they're going to keep me around so they can vote me out last. But like, they're eventually going to want to vote you out because they think you're a traitor. So it doesn't really work out.
You know,
like,
that's what I'm saying. It's a first season show too. So when it comes to gameplay, I think nobody really knew what to do. And I think that was proven with Cody too, right? Like somebody who won Big Brother, somebody who's super good with great gameplay. They did not know how to manage what we were going through, because it was just like, it was the most unpredictable situation you could be in ever, you know, and having no control whatsoever. Only the traitors had control. So yeah, it was a very difficult environment.
And on a lighter note, what was the most fun task to actually do? Because I know which one was fun to try and figure out as an audience standpoint, but what was fun to like actually be in the thick of and get to do? Because I'm assuming it's not being buried alive and
no,
have to figure out how to get people.
So glad I did not volunteer that day. I was so glad, because I would have safe worded it within the first 5 minutes of being in that box. I would say the most fun that I had was the laser challenge. Just because that's like something out of my, childhood of like, oh my God, I get to do this crazy situation. I was really good at it too. And I didn't know that I was as flexible as I was. So I was like, it just felt
you and Kate were surprisingly like great at that one. Like there were people who like, I think it was Christian, just like instantly fell, got in and was done.
And it's so funny because he was like, I do yoga, I do all this stuff, I'm going to kill this challenge. And he gets in there and his butt hits a line within 2 seconds. And I'm like, okay, bro.
Well, this show is fun in a way that the mole is not, because the mole people are trying to like sabotage. But this show is like everyone wants to win the money because it benefits the traitors and
exactly. At the end of the day, like you want to have as much money as you can in the pot because you're trying to take that home. So yeah.
And sort of as a last question, is there a now that you've done this show and you kind of know like the gameplay of this, is there a all-stars that you would come back and do, or is there another now reality game show that you want to try, knowing that you have strategy and you know how to use it to your advantage?
It's a tough question. I would like to say yes. Like I think I would really like to do the circle. I think that would be really fun. But I would also be down to do the challenge, I think, because I really like, adrenaline stuff. And yeah, Big Brother scares me because it's so long in a space like that with people,
with cameras on you for 24 hours a day.
Exactly. Like I said, I'm an introvert, so not being able to like turn off or like just have a second to myself might be difficult. I don't know if I could do Survivor. I don't know about the bugs. We all saw how that went last time.
Yeah, no. But yeah, thank you so much for talking with me. I truly, it made me so sad when you did not win. I was like, no, you guys, that's a traitor. You guys have to get her out. She just outed Ari. You guys have to know. And then it was heartbreaking. But I hope there is like an all-stars at some point and you guys all get to come back. I would love to see traitor, but I can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Of course.
Questions were fun. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.